the public health. So thank you for joining us, and we'd like to really appreciate all the students from Kenya, from Zambia, from Uganda, who are joining us in these literature lessons. So we continue with our lessons, and we are requesting you to subscribe to our channel, make our channel popular. Let us learn together. This is beneficial, especially to you who are writing exams. So feel free to subscribe and share the video, and also ask questions, make comments, make suggestions, other set books that you want us to focus on, to discuss as a novel. Okay, so this is what we like to follow through. Suggest the books that we would like us to discuss in the comment section. Just suggest the title, depending from the country you're watching us from, and the set books literature that you have. So we continue with the concubine, written by Amadi. So today we want to look at in chapter 2, and then after reading a section, I want to refer you to the exam question. How do they set questions? As you can see, the novel. So how do exams? Then I will give another example using the blossom of the savannah. How they set questions for Form 4 in East Africa. Here in the southern region, it's a grade 12 who write the final literature exam, paper 1 and paper 2. So let's get the ball rolling. This is chapter 2. We to recap on the story, we reached a point where Emenike is sick. Ihoma, his wife, is looking after him, and suspicions here and there of what could have happened. So in chapter 2, again, we look at characterization. Remember the points that I had given you. So we also, from chapter 2, we start looking at Madume. Who is this person? So chapter 2 opens this way. Madume, now in his early 30s, was by no means a very successful man. His compound was small, with only 2 houses in it. Indeed, he did not care for more houses, since touching them in the rain season was a job he hated. His wife always complained of a leaking roof, and threatened on one occasion to thatch the house herself, to shame him before the village. When discovered half a dozen cans in her husband's bedroom, she thought directly of the matter. Madume's yams were few. It was a lucky thing that barns were normally constructed in the farms, so that it was not easy to know exactly how many equerries or columns of yams a man had. Still, he had to sell his yams at the waterside market during the harvest season, and that gave him away. Wahulu, Maduma's only wife, bore him 4 daughters. A most annoying thing. Despite dowries he knew that he would collect when they got married, but would bear his name when he died. So far we have looked at some of the things that are describing Maduma. For sure we know that he was in early 30s. And another trend that describes him is that he was not a successful man. And the novel continues and say his compound was also small. So from these we know that this person was not really successful. And when it comes to thatching the house, we are told this is the job that he hated. Now, as a man in his time, that was the responsibility of a man. And we are told about his wife complaining of a leaking roof. Now, we also see that Maduma, unlike most of the men probably in his age, had only one wife. So something sets him apart. And 4 daughters. Probably in their time, a daughter was not so significant. So that's why they are saying the most annoying thing. What was important is the person who is going to bear the name of the father. So let's continue. But who would bear his name when he died? That's why we left. He thought of his elder brother's son inheriting his house and lands filled with dismay. But there was no time enough to marry another wife, and the problem did not bother him entirely. Moreover, his daughter's marriages would provide him with the money for another wife. Wadu Okidi had started the opening talks on the first daughter, now 14 years old. But just now, there was no telling whether Wakili was serious or not. Practical jokes were also his talk in trade. There was one thing which Madume had, and that was Bob. He was tall, again describing him. He was tall and an axe-headed, and the old man said he had the best pair of calves in the village. His presence during inter-village negotiation always lent a little extra strength to his village, Omukachi. So finally we get to the setting, the place where this was happening, Omukachi. But people in his own village age group knew he was not particularly strong. He was not strong. He was not a good wrestler. Although he danced well to the beat of drums, and many a young man had licked him or liked him. Okay? So we can end from this part, the first part. So how do now, for example, the examiners now ask you a question, for example, in this book, The Concubine. So we have one example. So what they can do is they can extract a certain passage or a paragraph from this book and ask you questions about it. Okay, so it can be from any chapter. The extraction can be from any chapter of the book, and then they ask you a question about it. So this is what I want you just to preempt you on what is to come. The extraction I'm taking goes like this. He's sleeping. That's why the story starts. He's sleeping calmly now. He said, "Cover him up. The mosquitoes have started biting. Get my bath water ready quickly." He ordered his junior sister Nkechi. So he's ordering his younger sister. Hot or cold? Equal. Hot. Shall I put the anti-fever leaves? No, those are rotting now. I shall gather fresh ones tomorrow. A Kwaume whistled while he bathed. His whistling was peculiar and melodious, and only a few could do it well. He whistled with 2 parts simultaneously, and it sounded like a duct. Kechi always listened to it. It captivated her. The Kwaume was enjoying his yam fufu when Wakili arrived. "Eat with me," he invited. So that is the extraction. That was the extraction. That is the extraction. So how can they set questions? Now the following are the questions that you respond. Even you, as you are listening, you can try to attempt these questions. Who was still sleeping, and what was he suffering from? Who was still sleeping, and what was he suffering from? Second question, earlier, just before this excerpt, The picture of Yuma flashed through Kwame's mind. Describe the picture as it was given there. Third question, Wakili was the villager soloist. How did the village describe his voice? So these are just some of the questions that can be asked. For example, the fourth question can be, upon getting back from Yuma's compound, Ikwahume's mother observed that he had taken rather long at Yuma's compound. What explanation does he give his mother for staying long at Yuma's compound? What excuses did he use? So these are some of the questions that we can have. Okay? Now, like I was saying, now let me end by saying this. So you can have the story and then questions asked through the story. You can have an extract. I will do the savannah of blossom of the savannah next time. But you can have an extract in the story, and after that extract, you can ask questions of what happened in that story. That is how exams are set. So again, thank you for subscribing to our channel. Make sure we get to 1,000. God bless you.